All right, we are following up Taxi by Harry Chapin. That's what I like to call him. Chapin is a way of like saying like dude, kids, hoodlums. Can be used in a lot of different contexts in Guatemala, I think actually. Yeah, that's what it means. So Harry Chapin. We have checked out Taxi before, and we checked out Taxi, I want to say, well, let me look it up. On December 15. I'm going to link to that video. I'm going to link that video, the first time ever even hearing of the guy, in the description to this one. But apparently, and again, thanks to, well, first, just thanks to a donation from an anonymous donor who told me I also need to check out Harry Chapin's Tangled Up Puppet. Apparently that it's a must listen for dads, especially maybe girl dads. I will be checking that out because I'm really, really interested in Harry Chapin. A lot because of that story. The story of Taxi was remarkable. I love a good bard, right? Reminded me that bards used to tell us these stories, and when you sing them beautifully and perform them beautifully, they can stick with you in a more powerful way. And he told a story of see, this is what's hard because I'm not like the best critic. I'm not the most eloquent person. A story of almost like what could have been, right? This accidental re-meeting of a past loved one. And in a way, if I recall, the girl, the woman in this, she did achieve her dreams. The cab driver, he feels like, I mean, I think he kind of feels not good enough that all he ended up becoming was a taxi driver. But you also get this feeling like, even though she reached her dream, she learned to fly, right? There was still something, it's like it's not all perfect, even if you achieve your goals, you know? Here, let me look up a good summary for me to be ready for Sequel. And apparently he wrote Sequel and performed Sequel pretty close to his death. And thankfully gave the fans something, some sort of closure with that story on Taxi. Taxi ends on a poignant, reflective note. Harry drops her off, they part ways with polite but empty promises, and he drives off into the night. Both have technically got what they wanted, but the encounter highlights the roads not taken, lost love, regret, and how dreams can twist into something more ordinary. It's a classic Chapin-style narrative, emotional, detailed, and laced with irony and melancholy. What my assistant here is telling me is, since you're about to listen to Sequel, it's a direct continuation of the same character's story, written about 8 years later at the request of fans who wanted to know what happened next to Harry and Sue. Chapin revisited the narrative to give it a new chapter. You don't need more details on Sequel right now, go listen to it. And just as we did for the first time when I listened to Taxi, I want to see him perform it live. I did go watch a little bit of my reaction just for a sec. I hate doing this, but I remember also the bass player with his his falsetto voice and the backup singing he did. Oh gosh, I hope he's back here. But again, if you haven't seen that, the link to Taxi is down below. Maybe go watch that first, then come back here and let's just talk some more Harry Chapin, yeah? All right, so Sequel, live 1980. And again, this is being provided by Reelin' in the Years. Let's give them a sub and a like, and again, they will be linked down below. Lastly, thank you Ruggable, who has been sponsoring all the videos this week. We've been a customer of Ruggable for a long time because we have kids, animals. They are washable rugs. Really easy to then reapply, if you will. They also have these new really thick rugs that we needed, especially because little Leo, my little man, he's learning to crawl and everything. A little late. He's about 13 months old and he's still like just figuring out crawling. Just hasn't been that motivated, I guess. But Ruggable has been a game changer because again, he was just like launching himself back and he was hitting his head a few times. Hope he's okay. So again, thank you, Ruggable. The link to Ruggable is down in the description down below, as well as a link to a video from our family vlog that I really also think you should go and subscribe to. Go watch that video. We're just trying to celebrate and put out there the wonders of familyhood. So Life of Duran, all of that is down below. All right, Harry Chapin, let's do it, man.
And he's going to do Sequel for you right now. As you said, where Taxi left off. Here is Harry Chapin.
You know, the years go by and your voice gets lower and all things can change so fast. Still nothing can set off your heartbeat as when you return yourself to your past.
Wow.
Yeah, she's acting happy inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned.
It's the same melody.
I got into town a little early, had 8 hours to kill before the show. First I thought about heading up north of the bay, then I knew where I had to go. I thought about taking a limousine, or at least a fancy car, but I ended up taking a taxi, 'cause that's how I got this far. It was 10 years ago and in the front seat, driving stoned and feeling no pain. Now here I am straight and sitting in the back, hitting 16 Parkside Lane. The driveway was the same as I remember, and a butler came and answered the door.
Wow.
He just shook his head when I asked for her, said she doesn't live here anymore.
Oh.
But he offered to give me the address. They were forward on our letters too. I just took it and returned to the cabbie and said, I got one more fare for you. So we rolled back into the city, up to a 5-story old brownstone. I rang the bell, it had her name on the mailbox. The buzzer said somebody's home. And the look on her face as she opened the door was like an old joke told by a friend. It'd have taken her 10 more years, but she'd found her smile, and I watched the corners start to bend. And she said, how are you, Harry? Have we played this scene before? I said, it's so good to see you soon. Had to play it out just once more. Play it out just once more.
Yeah. Okay, I need to pause to double check that I'm following with the story. I am so sorry. I try to not pause that much, especially because for a few of these, the first time I listened to Taxi, they didn't have the full drumming. They didn't have every single layer here. They didn't have the drummer or the guitarist. The guitar has such a nice, like the electric guitar with those, I don't know, that was bad. I'm really captured by all the layers actually in the performance. So for a while, I kind of drifted off with a story because I was listening to the music because it's just a great song. Okay, so this is 8 years after Taxi, and it seems like he's starting to crush. He's now also performing. I thought about taking a limousine or at least a fancy car, but I ended up taking a taxi because that's how I got this far. Great touch. The driver was the same as I remember, and a butler came. He said, said she doesn't live here anymore. He offered to give me the address that they were forwarding her letters to. I just took it and returned to the cabbie and said, I got one more fare for you. They went to the house, a 5-story old brownstone. I don't even know what that is. Okay, freaking awesome. So for a while I lived in Harlem in New York. Not in the nice area, but we would walk through the nice area once in a while and we would see these. Jeez. Okay, so now I understand also because when we lived there, do you know the bad guy, the buff old guy from the first Avatar movie? Jacked, the main baddie, right? The military guy. We walked past him a few times while I was a missionary in Harlem. Because it came out while I was a missionary, I never watched Avatar, but the guys who I was with did. I'm like, dude, that's the guy from Avatar. I'm like, oh, cool. So these are fancy houses. And the look on her face as she opened the door was like an old joke to a girlfriend, and I'd taken 10 more years, but she'd found her smile, and I'd watched the corners start to bend. Oh, beautiful. Because again, in Taxi, she didn't seem fulfilled with having achieved her dreams, but she'd found her smile. Beautiful. He's giving us a happy ending? We'll see. Okay, so now I'm following along. Won't be distracted by the music. Again, sorry guys. Let's go back like 20 seconds and keep going.
I said it's so good to see you soon. Had to play it out just once more. Play it out just once more. She said, I've heard you flying high on my radio. I answered, it's not all it seems.
He's back. He's crushing.
That's when she laughed and she said, it's better sometimes when you don't get to touch your dream.
Wow. That was a powerful line.
That's when I asked her where was that actress. She said that was somebody else. And when I asked her why she looked so happy now, she said, I finally like myself. At last I like myself.
Give me chills imagining my kids. And the transition with the music there.
So we talked all through that afternoon, talking about where we'd been. We talked of the tiny difference between ending and starting to begin. We talked 'cause talking tells you things like what you really are thinking about. But sometimes you can't find what you're feeling till all the words run out.
Nice. What a crescendo.
So I asked her to come to the concert. She said, no, I work at night. I said, we gotten too damn good at leaving soon. She said, Harry, you're right. Don't ask me if I made love to her.
Oh, okay.
Or which one of us started to cry. Don't ask me why she wouldn't take the money that I left. If I answered at all, I'd lie. So I thought about her as I sang that night, and of how the circle keeps rolling around, and of how I act as I'm facing the footlights, and how she's flying with both feet on the ground. Yes, I guess it's a sequel to our story, from our journey between heaven and hell, with half the time thinking of what might have been, and half thinking just as well.
Wow.
I guess only time will tell.
Wow. Jeez, he crushed that note.
Harry Chapin.
He sang much more powerfully in this version. Reeling in the years. Okay, I will reach out about licensing. Gosh, dude, that's absolutely beautiful. But he's not just ending the story because the story doesn't end. That's why he crushes that end with what does he say? I guess only time will tell.
And half thinking just as well.
What might have been, but just think.
I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yes. Yes. Okay, so How does he wrap up the moral of the story here? It's normal for us to have regrets, to wonder what might have been. Okay, how does he say it? I guess the sequel to the story is from the journey between heaven and hell, with half the time thinking of what might have been and half thinking just as well. Only time will tell. We can't live in fear of life happening in a certain way because life is going to be very unpredictable. He probably didn't know when he was a taxi driver that he would now be this star performing, and then from there revisiting this old love of his. But what he says about her touched me because I'm a girl dad, right? Two beautiful girls. And this woman, Sue, she does achieve her dreams. And that part where she said, "I've heard you flying high on the radio," I answered, "It's not all it seems." That's when she left and she said, "It's better sometimes when we don't get to touch our dreams." So I asked her, where was that actress? She said, that was somebody else. And I asked her why she looks so happy now. She said, "I finally like myself at last. I like myself." And then if I recall, he then changes that song there to almost feel angelic, and we have to go back to that moment.
Left and she said, "It's better sometimes when you don't get to touch your dreams."
That guitar portion.
That's when I asked her, where was that actress? She said that was somebody else. And when I asked her why she looked so happy now, she said, "I finally like myself.
The music.
At last I like myself."
You just picture a meadow. This is probably how he felt to hear that from her. Because this is all any of us could hope for. Oh, it's such a beautiful transition. Let the music tell. And let that sink in, right? I am obsessed with this part of the song. One more time, dude. I have to listen to it one more time. Because there's something powerful of that arpeggio just from the up and down with those like angel voices, again, from Big John Wallace. That was his name, right? The arpeggio is going down. It's like a heaven, like you kind of use that when a heavenly messenger comes, right? If you listen to, the Messiah, right? That's a common thing. There's the arpeggios going up, yeah, but the arpeggios going down are the answers, the gifts from heaven. And what was her gift for her? She finally likes herself. More important than self-esteem is self-respect, and it's because we know we are living true. And one of the most important things I pray for, and something that I try to instill in my girls especially, it's that saying, not to think less or more of themselves, but to think about themselves less. And because of that, they feel therefore better about themselves.
Talking about a like myself. At last I like myself.
Chills, dude. With the piano too. And then they go back. They go back to the typical way of telling the story.
We talked of the tiny difference between ending and starting to begin. We talk 'cause talking tells you things like what you really are thinking about. But sometimes you can't find what you're feeling till all the words run out.
And that's where it all comes back. So it's almost like that verse right there, that bridge, was coming back to that after, for him, because he loves Sue. He just heard maybe the best news he ever could have heard is that she's okay. She's good. If anything, better than ever. We talked of the tiny difference between ending and starting to begin. Wow. Again, sometimes things we love, things we hope never end, do end. And so it feels like our life is ending, but yes, that's so beautifully put. The tiny difference between ending and starting to begin. We talked because talking tells you things like what you really are thinking about, but sometimes you can't find what you're feeling till all the words run out. Oh man, yeah. Some of the most powerful conversations I've had with my wife is we talk about things and then there's like we just look at each other and are in silence. It's maybe one of the most intimate experiences you can have is just a silence. And then she says, no, I can't go to the concert. We don't know if they hooked up. Don't ask me why she wouldn't take the money that I left. If I answered at all, I'd lie. He still wants to take care of her, but again, she's good. So I thought about her as I sang that night and how the circle keeps rolling around, how I act as I'm facing the footlights, and how she's flying with both feet on the ground. So great reference to Taxi. She achieved her goal of flying, but she's flying grounded. Whatever peace she found is flight, not the fame of being an actress. Because maybe the things that she had to experience to achieve what she was achieving as an actress, she did not like it. She felt like she lost herself. But now she likes herself. That's flight. What a baller. Incredible. What a story. I might want to show both of these together to Allie, my wife, and bring her in to, again, show her both Taxi and Sequel and maybe just do them all at once. Could be a lot of fun together. And I might be doing then that annoying thing of watching if she gets what's going on. And gets why it's so genius, right? Wonderful. Has anyone ever made like a music video to tell the mini? It's a mini movie, right? It's like 14, 15 minute short story. Doesn't need it. The music is powerful. And if anything, because it's music in a bard performing like experience, maybe it's better for our imagination to think about it. But still, I think it'd be a cool thing. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this hang. We'll see you all soon.